doing on voiceover soft music. Jungkook's eyes fall on Wine's pink lips, making him lick his lip, and then he cupped Wine's right side cheek with his palm, while his thumb softly cherished her lips. I want you now. That's the last word Wine heard before her mind gone completely blank as Jungkook smashed his lips on her and started her hungrily. But Jungkook pulled back when he felt Wine eased him. So me back, wifey, he said more like order and was again about to put his lips on her but stopped when Wine put a little press on his chest. Has still her both hands are on his chest. What, baby doll? I don't know how to, she said with a shy red face and looked down at his shirt's button. But she looked up when she heard Jungkook chuckle only for her heart to skip a beat, seeing how mesmerizing Jungkook was looking with a smiley face. I got you. Just follow my lips and tongue, he said while shrimming and tightened his hold on Wine's cheek before again putting his lips back on Wine. This time, Wine did as Jungkook told her. Follow his lips and tongue move, making the go wild, deep, and slowly passionate. Vine felt butterflies in her whole body. It felt so good for her, and same goes to Jungkook. He felt like heaven having Vine slip on his, making him go more wild, resulting in Jungkook's hold on Vine's waist to tighten and pick up Vine and put her on the table and spread her legs, get in between her legs. Meanwhile, his right hand moved from Vine's stick to back of her neck, holding her face to deepen the making Wine to grip Jungkook shut near his chest where she can feel his heart beating loudly. Both were so into the moment that they didn't notice the office door open and Jungkook's dad got surprised seeing them out and he clearly saw how they both were into each other that they still didn't notice him um, Jungkook's dad fake cuff baking both Wine and Jungkook's top, and Jungkook looked through Wine's neck to the door, still holding her firmly in his arm just to see his dad. Saying this, he stood straight, still keeping Wine in his arm. But Wine got surprised, also embarrassed, and at the same time nervous of Mafia King. So she moved in Jungkook's hold to free her, which Jungkook noticed. So calm down, wifey. The bold voice sent shiver down her spine, and she stopped moving. And thus Jungkook picked her up by her waist and made her stand on her feet and go and get freshened up. Clara might have got dressed for you. Saying this, Jungkook leaned forward and Wine's forehead, making Wine's eyes wide open, and she felt shock in her body. Not only Wine got surprised, but this action of Jungkook made him surprised at his own behavior and his dad too. Now this was all too much that Wine just turned around and bowed at Jungkook's dad who was surprised at his son's behavior and ran out of the room. Seems like everything is going easily with you guys, he said in a teasing way while walking towards the table. But what's going easily, dad? He asked, totally being not knowing anything. And higher. Seems like I will get a grandkid in 9 months. That's good. Reality hit Jungkook. He forget about and higher. It was all his body making him do things without his knowing. So what's your decision with that girl? Girl? Jungkook looked at his dad with an raised eyebrow after hearing the way his dad mentioned Ryan. She isn't just a girl, dad. She is my wife, he said in a little bit anger tone, making Jungkook's dad shrimp knowing what his son decided. But also he again saw a kind of emotion in Jungkook's eyes for Ryan. So I think you decided to keep her. Whatever you do, son, but don't become lovesick puppy. It will make you weak, and you won't be able to become the Mafia King. Saying this, Jungkook dad walked out of the room after making Jungkook remember his dream, which he forget every time wine comes in front of him. Yes, my dream. No, I will never give up my dream. I promised my mom I will become the Mafia King. I want to make my mom happy. I need to find a way with my wife. He ran his finger through his hair, realizing his heart has already accepted her as his wife. But ignore her till I find a way with my. Jungkook stopped talking and closed his eyes, realizing he is again calling her his wife. So he signed before sitting back to the chair. Wine ran to the bedroom and closed the door and leaned back to the door. Wine put her hand on her chest to calm her down. Ush, what he would think, it's so embarrassing, she said with a whole red face, thinking about Jungkook's dad who happened to see them. Ush, she again sighed when the scene again came to her mind. Maybe a shower will fix me. Saying this, she was about to walk into the bathroom, but her eyes fall on the bed to see few clothes. Wine walked towards the bed and saw a knot on the cloth, so she took it and Winey, I'm sorry, I was only able to get this few dress according to your size. Hope it fits you. Use them till I buy few more for you. She read and smiled before taking a random set of dress and walking into the bathroom. Wine got in the bathroom and she walked towards the mirror and stood in front of the mirror and her eyes dropped to her lips, making Wine to remember how passionately Jungkook her. But Ush, Wine, why are you behaving as if you are in love with that man? But that man is my husband. Maybe it's not wrong, right? I can love him, right? I don't know. Every person I love leaves me. First my dad, then my mom too left me, she said while looking at herself in the mirror. And should I accept this marriage? Sign. Let's see where it takes me. Saying this, she put the clothes on the holder and walked into the shower, all ready to accept her new life. Jungkook was sitting in his office room and watching Wine through the CCTV in the dining room, who was enjoying dinner with Clara. In this 1 month, Jungkook tried his best to avoid Wine, but at the same time, he wasn't able to take a single step for his dream, as he wasn't able to decide what to do with Wine. He wanted to become the Mafia king, but at the same time, he didn't want it to use Wine for his dream. And also, it's some kind of magic that every time he see Wine, he forget his plan and only think about her and her lips, which he, the sweet taste of her lips, making him go in second, and thus he mostly avoid getting anywhere near Wine. Did I marry her to do household chores? This question escaped his mouth without his knowing, and no, she isn't meant for doing some household chores. She deserves better. Yes, she does. Jungkook leaned back to his chair, thinking what he should do for Wine's better life, but then his attention went to his office door knocking, and Wine opened the door and came in with a tray of food, as she is doing from the last 1 month. Your dinner, she said, and put the tray in front of him on the table. And please eat it, don't stress yourself with work. I'm going to sleep, good night, she said, thinking Jungkook is too busy to even have his food, as he always stays in his office room. Wine, saying this, turned back and walked out of the room, leaving Jungkook, who was totally lost in Wine, mostly her innocence. Such an innocent, doesn't even know that I'm avoiding her, naive girl, thinking I'm busy. Yes, I'm busy ignoring you because of this, he said while pointing down at his, which was so evident now. But suddenly Jungkook got an idea for Wine. I got it. He immediately took his phone and dialed a very important person in his life, who immediately took the call. And I need your help, he said as soon as the person took the call. Jungkook walked into the room and his eyes automatically fall on Wine sleeping peacefully, so without disturbing her sleep, he walked towards the balcony and leaned on the railing, looking up at the sky. And I'm sorry, Mom, I don't want to be a Mafia king. I'm sorry, I'm breaking my promise. Hope you forgive me. I can't use her for my dream, Mom. I'm sorry. He took a deep breath and turned around to walk back into the room. Jungkook walked back into the room and walked towards the bed and sat next to Wine's sleeping figure, and he smiled, seeing her sleeping peacefully. You're gonna be free from tomorrow, he said while softly cherishing Wine's face, making sure she doesn't wake up. And there he leaned forward and her forehead before getting up from bed and walked towards the closet to get in striped bed. Jungkook walked out of the closet after changing into his set pants and lastly took a glance at Wine before walking out of the room to his office room, where he used to sleep for the last 1 month. Jungkook spent the whole day in his office room in order to avoid Wine, but now it was dinner time and he felt hungry, so he decided to go and have dinner. But before going to the dinner, he decided to look for Wine so as to know where she is. So he on the computer to check the CCTV just to see Wine in the kitchen arranging dinner. Whiny young master doesn't ask for it, he will get angry. Only he is being in his study room from morning. He didn't even came for lunch, and you didn't allow me to take his lunch, saying that he will get angry. But now it's very late. He should eat something to get energy. Saying this, she hold the tray in her hand and walk out, leaving a worried Clara, who only allowed Wine to take food because she saw Wine was more stressed and sad as Jungkook didn't eat the food. So she let Wine to take Jungkook's food, thinking that will make Wine happy. Jungkook, after watching Wine walk towards his office room, made him panic. What should I do? Hide? He roamed his eyes, hoping a place to hide, but it was too late. Wine knocked the door, and she slowly opened it when she didn't got any response from inside, even after 5 minutes, only to see Jungkook standing in front of his table. Wine walked towards his table and put the tray on the table, and a small smile appeared on her lips when she saw the plate with sandwich which she brought in the morning is clean. Jungkook's eyes unknowingly traveled down her body to see her in a one-piece dress, which made her look even more prettier and cute, making his heart flutter. The dress suits you. The words escaped from his mouth without his knowing, and Wine looked at him just to see him admiring her, making her blush. Thank you, and also for the dress, she said and bit her lips, which Jungkook noticed, making him think about the they shared in the morning. But I brought you dinner. You didn't had your lunch also, so please eat and then you can continue working, she said, making Jungkook look at her eyes and smile a little, seeing her being caring for him. I had your sandwich in afternoon. It was really delicious, he sincerely said, making Wine smile go wide and feel happy. Thank you. I will make more for you tomorrow if you like it. Yeah, you should. Wine chuckled on hearing him, which made Jungkook's eyes soft than it already was, as his eyes sparkled to hearing her beautiful chuckle, making him feel to hear it again and again. But okay, then I will leave. Please eat, and then you can continue your work. Saying this, she took the morning tray and bowed to Jungkook before walking out of the room. Seems like avoiding her is difficult, he said to himself and took a deep breath before turning his head to food which Vine brought for him. Jungkook smiled softly and walked round the table towards his chair and sat on his chair and looked at the computer monitor to see Vine reach the dining room and Clara asking Vine how Jungkook react to her bringing dinner to him, who on hearing Vine's word got shocked. But soon both Clara and Vine sat together to have dinner. So he too started eating the food which was so delicious while watching Vine eating too. Jungkook walked into his room after having dinner and he directly walked into the closet to get undressed, but he stopped seeing Wine's clothes arranged along with his and Wine too came into the room after dinner and helping Clara to clean the kitchen and then to closet to get a night dress for her, but saw Jungkook staring at her clothes, so she walked towards him and stood next to him, gaining his attention. I found space there, so I put my clothes there. Should I change it? She asked nervously and bit her lips, and Jungkook looked back at her small clothes arranged with his big one, which gave a perfect marriage life kind of vibe to him, and he loved that feeling. So, no, it's okay, he said, making her relax and happy. So, thank you, please excuse me. Saying this, she moved towards him near her dress section and got a night dress and walked out of the closet to the bathroom. But Jungkook sighed, what's happening with me? Why I am a whole different person around her? He shook his head, whatever, just ignore that feeling and focus on our dream. Saying this, he changed his outfit and walked out of the room. Wine walked out of the bathroom after freshening up just to see Jungkook sitting on the bed and using his phone. So, I will take the couch, she said, gaining Jungkook's attention, and he looked up from his phone to see Wine in her comfortable night dress. Jungkook looked at the couch and back to Wine, who was about to take her step towards the couch but stopped and slept on the bed. Wine looked at Jungkook with wide eyes and but she was about to oppose, but the couch looked uncomfortable. Just sleep on the bed, he said, but he clearly noticed Wine biting her lips and her cheeks turned red and also her hesitating. So, I won't touch you until you want me to, he said in his bold voice, sending shiver down Wine's spine and no, it's not like that, she said, looking down at her feet, but a slight smile appeared on Jungkook's lips on hearing Wine and so you don't have problem with me touching you. Do you want me to touch you? He teasingly asked, making Wine look up at his face to see him streaming, making her gulp a lump and bite her lips, not knowing what to say. But okay, fine then, what's bothering you? He asked her as if he didn't taste her just a second ago. Am I allowed in your bed? She asked and again looked down at her feet, but she looked up at Jungkook when she heard. It's only you who is allowed in my bed, wifey, he said, making Wine feel butterflies in her tummy and happy too. So Wine took small step towards the other side of the bed and got on the bed and looked at Jungkook to see him admiring her. So she blushed and good night, saying that she lay down and covered her whole body in the blanket, making Jungkook chuckle. Meanwhile, Wine's heart fluttered on hearing Jungkook chuckle, so she peeked from the blanket to see Jungkook putting his phone aside and switch off the light and lay next to her, making her again go back into the Jungkook was wide awake as he wasn't able to sleep, and then he looked at his side to see Wine completely wrapped in blanket, so he slowly removed the blanket from Wine's face just to see her sleeping peacefully. Jungkook kept looking at Wine, which made him more sleepless because he was feeling as his wife was sleeping next to him, and her face and lips reminding him of they had earlier, making things more difficult for him. And now, being not able to take more pain, he got up and walked out of his room to his office room. And thus Jungkook ended up using his office room more than his bedroom. Meanwhile, Wine keep thinking that Jungkook is busy with work, totally unaware that he is avoiding her. But Wine makes sure to serve him food at his office every time he is at home on the day when he didn't go to his company or mission. Like every day of the last 1 month, Wine wake up from her beautiful sleep and sat straight before looking at Jungkook's side of bed to see it's clean. Such a workaholic man, she said, thinking Jungkook was again working whole night. Wine got up from bed and walked into the bathroom to freshen up and start her day. After freshening up and getting ready for the day, Wine looked at herself in the mirror to see herself glowing because she was indeed happy here. More about that, there was a love glow on her face because she started loving her husband, which she herself doesn't know when she fall in love with him and what made her love him. Wine finally looked at herself and then walk out of the closet. Wine walked out of the room to see Clara walking out of Jungkook's office room, making a wide smile appear on her lips, knowing Jungkook is in the house. As in the 1 month, Wine understood that Clara only enters his office when Jungkook needs something, unless she won't enter, nor even to clean, as she cleans his room only in his presence. Let's make breakfast for my husband, she happily said and ran to the kitchen. Wine entered the kitchen and directly to the fridge to get the things needed for making breakfast. But Winey, let's go for an outing today, she said, but only not now. I'm busy preparing breakfast for him, she said without even properly listening to what Clara said. But Clara walked towards Wine and held her hand, stopping her and making Wine face her. No need to make breakfast for young master, she said, making Wine's all happiness flew away. Why? She asked with a heavy heart. Because young master ordered me to take you out for some fresh air, as you were in this house for a month. Now Wine understood why Clara was in Jungkook's office room, as he ordered Clara to take her out. But his breakfast, she asked, still caring for about Jungkook. I don't know, maybe he will have in his office. He is leaving soon, she said, making Wine sadly nod her head and okay, just 5 minutes. I will put on a nice dress and come back, she said, to which Clara nodded her head and Wine walked to the bedroom. Follow my wife and keep guarding her till she reach back home, he ordered his man to follow Wine after seeing Wine and Clara getting in the car and drive off through the CCTV. Okay, sir, Jungkook cut the call. Let's go, Mark, he ordered Mark, who was also present in his room from morning. Okay, sir, saying this he bowed to Jungkook before walking out of the room to garage to start the car and Jungkook to walk out. The whole time Wine wasn't able to enjoy because she was feeling sad for not having at least a glance of Jungkook. Finally noticing Wine not enjoying her day out, Clara suggested to get some coffee to freshen up Wine's mind. Thank you, she said to the staff and took the coffee as Clara has already paid. That's what Wine think, but they didn't pay because Jungkook has already informed every employees of the mall about Wine visiting the mall because it's his mall, and turned around to go to Clara, who was sitting on a corner table and using her phone, only to bump into a man and both her coffee fall on that man's shirt. Oh my god, I'm sorry. She immediately looked up at the man and said sorry, panicking. Meanwhile, the man really got lost in Wine's beauty. He fell in love at first sight for her, and her being panicking only add cuteness to her beauty, making the man go insane for Wine. So he calmed down. It's okay, he said and gave a sweet smile to her, making Wine lick her lips. And but your shirt, it's ruined and it's looking expensive, she said, making the man roll his eyes as the shirt is not so important for him. It's fine, he was cut off. No, it's not. Come with me. Saying this, she held the man's hand and dragged him to the washroom, giving the man butterflies in his stomach on Wine's touch, and he let Wine drag him, enjoying her touch on him. Wine freed the man's hand, making the man pout a little after losing Wine's soft touch, while looking at his wrist where Wine was holding him. Please, can I? She asked his permission, who looked at her from his wrist and just nodded his head, and Wine took the tissue and started wiping his shirt. Meanwhile, the man was totally enjoying Wine being close to him, even though she was not too close with him, just close so she can clean his shirt, and treating him in the most soft way as if he is a baby. But no, the stain is not going. She sadly stayed looking up at him, and her eyes started turning teary, making the man's heart ache. Hey, don't cry. Saying this, he took a tissue and was about to wipe Wine's teary eyes, but Wine took the tissue and wiped her eyes. But no more talking. He cut off Wine, but I feel bad. Let me get you a shirt, she again said, making the man sign on Wine's stubbornness, but he find it attractive, so you really feel bad? Wine nodded her head cutely, making the man awe at Wine's cuteness, making him fall more for Wine. So, okay, then go on a date with me if you feel bad, he said, making Wine surprise and gulp a lump and take a step further back. I'm sorry, I am married and love and respect my husband, so sorry. If you are okay, I will buy you a shirt. There, that man saw love in Wine's eyes for her husband, as her eyes shine talking about her husband, but he isn't going to step back and embarrass himself, so. Hey, you took me wrong. I just asked for a friendly date. I found you cute. Let's be friends. Look, I love making new friends, and you seem to be a loyal friend, so let's be friends. Saying this, he forwarded his hand for a handshake. Wine hesitated and kept looking back and forth between his hand and face, and lastly, okay, she shake hand with him, thinking it's not a bad idea to have a friend, right? Meanwhile, the man got so happy and softly cherished Wine's back of hand with his thumb, as still their hands are joined together for a handshake, and so we are friends from today. My name is Kim Taeyong. To be continued. Thanks for watching. Bye.